6:35 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope that you all have had a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful work week, and I hope it's been a productive and a non-stressful week for you all. As for me, I'm doing pretty good myself. Just got home from work not too long ago. It was a pretty good day at work, a pretty chill day. It's been pretty warm though. I think we hit about 85 degrees today. And remember, today is November the 19th. Like, it is not supposed to be 85 degrees outside, but it is what it is. But yeah, right at the record high for this time of year, and so I'm just waiting on cooler temps because there's many places across the United States that are experiencing cooler temps, but it's like, why can't we get the cooler temps? So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's all good. Okay, so in today's video, and also too, I apologize for not uploading on this channel as much. I'm gonna try to upload more on this channel, but yeah, I do, read y'all's comments, want me to upload more on this channel, on the Whisper channel, and so, here I am, and, so yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be going over 100 facts about homelessness. Now, homelessness is an issue that I think is very important, and it's an issue pretty much in every mid-sized to major city across the United States. Just people that don't have stable housing. I think that it is important that people that are in this situation get resources so that they are able to, get themselves out of that situation, because it's a very unfortunate situation to be in, a very difficult situation to be in. It's a very hard life, and I do believe that everyone should have a roof over their head. It's a sad situation, and I think that unfortunately it's only going to get worse as the economy continues to go on the trajectory that it's going on. Where houses are costing so much. Apartments, monthly rents for apartments are so much, right? And it's an unfortunate situation. Everything is just too expensive, and it's really squeezing people out and causing more and more homelessness. And so I believe in the Houston area, they did just open up a homeless shelter not too long ago, and so that's a good thing. And because I read too that they were going to provide them like resources and stuff to help them get employment, and they'll have like a bed to sleep in and toiletries and stuff like that, and so they'll provide them with those things as well. And so that is definitely a wonderful thing to hear. But again, just no one should be homeless. So yeah, number one, here's 100 facts about homelessness. Number one, homelessness affects millions worldwide every year, and it is a worldwide problem. Homelessness, it is not only in the United States, but worldwide as well. So each January to estimate homelessness. Number 3, homelessness includes people in shelters, on the streets, or in unstable housing. So, all three of those things count as homelessness. Yeah. So number 4, many homeless individuals are employed but earn too little to afford rent, and that is a very, very unfortunate reality about many people that are homeless. A lot of them have employment, but unfortunately, they work in a job where they can't afford, they can't afford their own place, and in some instances, they can't even afford to, rent a room. And it's a bad situation to be in. I do wish that jobs would pay a little more, but the unfortunate reality is there's many jobs that are just not going to pay a whole lot. So jobs like fast food, restaurant, retail, certain warehouse positions and stuff like that. Unfortunately, those jobs just aren't really going to pay enough to be able to afford, to have a place to stay. And so, that's a real predicament that many people are in, working a job, but they just don't make enough to afford rent. Number 5, homelessness exists in rural, suburban, and urban areas, not just cities. So this is a problem that exists even in rural areas, right? It's not just the big cities, and even in some suburbs, right? And it's not quite as widespread in suburban areas because in many suburbs, they have like strict laws about, camping out under bridges and, loitering and stuff like that. They really enforce those out in the suburbs, especially the ones that are, like the nicer suburbs and stuff. They really, it's one of those things where it's like they really kind of run off the homeless, right? And so that's why you really don't see it a lot in like the nicer suburbs, but in certain suburbs they're there. And in the nearby big city that suburb is located, there are many homeless individuals, unfortunately. Number 6, families with children. Families with children are one of the fastest growing homeless populations. That's very alarming, but not surprising in this economy. This economy is really, really squeezing people out, squeezing families out. All it really takes is for someone to lose their job, lose their livelihood, and now all of a sudden they can't afford to pay a mortgage or to pay the rent, and just like that they're homeless, or they're in like a situation, unstable housing. That's all it takes. And I mean, think about how often you look on the news and you see that this corporation is slashing 10,000 jobs, or that corporation is slashing 15,000 jobs, or this corporation is slashing 25,000 jobs. Think about it. That's thousands and thousands of families that are going to be affected by that, right? All because the companies want to save money and use AI and, offshore the job, right? It affects thousands of people who work, and those people's families are affected as well. It's a serious issue. Number 7, a large share of homeless individuals cycle in and out of homelessness. to homelessness. Um, it could be job insecurity, it could be substance abuse, it could be a lot of things, but it's it's what happens a lot to a lot of people that are in and out of homelessness. Number 8, most homeless people are not chronically homeless. Number 9, chronic homelessness represents 10 to 20% of the homeless population, but consumes most public resources. I didn't know that. Number 10, many homeless individuals have been homeless for less than 1 year. Number 11, the leading cause of homelessness is a lack of affordable housing. I think that affordable housing needs to be a top priority in many of these government agencies, right? These governments, they want to spend money on everything except building affordable housing. Now, many big cities do have public housing and affordable housing complexes, but it's just not enough. The supply really doesn't meet the demand when it comes to affordable housing options. There are some startup companies and stuff, like small companies, that are committed to building like affordable housing units. But I think that that's something that should be top priority in pretty much all these big cities. Not some of them, all these big cities and mid-sized cities should make affordable housing the top priority. How is it that we have all this money for all this stuff, all these expensive ventures, but you have people sleeping on the street? I mean, it's crazy to think about, honestly. Number 12, more than half of homeless adults report losing housing due to financial hardship. That's one of the main reasons people become homeless. It's, financial hardship, affordable housing issues. It's bad. Number 13, minimum wage jobs. Many cities do not cover the cost of rent. I think a lot of people knew that, but it's unfortunate. Number 14, medical debt and illness frequently lead to eviction. And that's so sad. You would think that healthcare would be a basic human right, but nope, it's just another thing that people use to profit off of, right? And here in the United States, the medical industry is a for-profit industry, unlike many other countries around the world. Because there's many other countries that see healthcare as a human right instead of something that is, a for-profit industry. It's so screwed up how it is, Number 15, job loss is one of the most common triggers of homelessness. Number 16, domestic violence is a major driver of homelessness among women and children. And that's a big issue as well that needs to be discussed more. Is all this domestic violence and just violence in general that's out here. Number 17, youth LGBTQ plus individuals face higher homelessness risk due to family rejection. I have heard about that being an issue before. Family doesn't want to accept the fact that they're LGBTQ plus, and there's situations where families have literally kicked their own kids out of the home because their sexual orientation, which it's very, very messed up to do. It's just crazy because it's like, you may not agree with the lifestyle, but you should never just straight up like reject your child as a whole, like just kick them out of the home. these wages that these jobs are paying, they don't keep up with inflation, right? They just don't. You know, for many people that are making like $25 an hour and less, it's a struggle. It is a struggle to afford rent. Number 21, men make up the majority of single homeless adults. Number 22, women are more likely to experience family homelessness. Number 23, youth homelessness affects teens aged 13 to 24 who are unaccompanied. Number 24, veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population. How is it that someone who has put their life on the line for this country, the United States of America, is homeless? There's no reason that a veteran should be homeless. You know, there should be more support for this nation's veterans. Number 25, elderly homelessness is rising rapidly as fixed incomes fall short of rent. You know, a lot of times Social Security isn't enough, and a lot of jobs nowadays don't pay pensions anymore. So, you know, I can see that being the case. I don't even know if Social Security is gonna be around by the time I'm 65 years old. You know, if I live that long. Number 26, people leaving incarceration have a high risk of homelessness. Number 27, foster care youth aging out face extreme housing instability. So basically, like foster care youth that are like aging out of the system, they face extreme housing instability. Number 28, many homeless individuals have high school diplomas or some college education. And that's an unfortunate reality as well. Number 29, immigrants face unique barriers that can lead to homelessness. Number 30, indigenous peoples face disproportionately high homelessness rates. Number 31, homeless individuals have higher rates of chronic diseases. And, you know, that goes hand in hand with the for-profit medical system where, you know, if you don't have the money, it's like you just won't be able to access the medical care that you need, unfortunately. And with someone who's homeless, they aren't going to have the money to pay what these hospitals and clinics are charging. You know, a simple ER visit can be $250 with insurance. Now you imagine the cost of an ER visit without insurance. It's a real issue. Number 32, exposure to weather increases risk of hypothermia and heat stroke. Number 33, homelessness shortens life expectancy by about 20 to 30 years. I did not know that. I didn't know that at all. Number 34, dental issues are extremely common among the homeless. Number 35, substance use rates rise after homelessness begins for many. You know, because, you know, when you're homeless, you know, people are trying to cope with the fact that they're homeless, so they end up on some kind of substance, right? Whether it's alcohol or some kind of drug or, you know, something that they basically kind of get hooked on to essentially take the pain away, if that makes sense. And you see that a lot with many homeless people. Number 36, mental health services are difficult to access without insurance. You know, again, for-profit medical system. Everything is for-profit in America, unfortunately. infectious diseases spread more easily in shelters. Number 41, not all homeless people live on the street. Most cycle through shelters. Number 42, shelter capacity varies widely by city and season. Number 43, many shelters separate men from women and children. Number 44, some homeless individuals avoid shelters due to theft and safety concerns. I've heard about that, especially like the safety concerns and, people getting their stuff stolen. The few possessions that they might have, they have to worry about that being stolen. That's why many people just rather sleep on the street or something like that versus like a shelter. Which is why I do think that if they're gonna build more shelters, there should be way more security measures to make sure that there are safety protocols being followed in those shelters, and people aren't having their stuff stolen, and just stuff going on. Like, there should be more safety protocols in these shelters. Number 45, housing first programs offer housing with no strings attached. Number 46, housing first consistently reduces chronic homelessness. Number 47, transitional housing provides temporary stability. Number 48, some cities criminalize sleeping in public spaces. Yeah, that's true. Some of these cities, they wanna criminalize being homeless, basically, without providing adequate resources for the people that are homeless, so that they don't have to sleep in a public space. And what a lot of bus stops in these cities do nowadays is they build the benches to where it's like super, super uncomfortable to sleep on that park bench or bus stop bench. They'll have it like raised to where a person like really can't lay down like that. And yeah, they do that, unfortunately. And it's a situation where people, they don't want to see the homeless people, but at the same time, it's like there's no resources there to where they are in a situation to where they don't have to sleep on the bus stop bench or the park bench. There's not the resources just aren't there. Number 49, emergency shelters often stay full during extreme weather. So, when it's really hot or really cold, that's when the emergency shelters stay open. I know here in the Houston area, they had, when it gets really, really hot during the summer, especially like July and August, they'll open up like cooling centers so that the homeless don't have to like be outside when it's 100 degrees and it feels like 120 degrees outside. And same thing when it gets cold. They'll open up like warming centers. gets evicted, families struggle to rent again due to record checks. And that is one thing too that people don't talk about enough too, is once you have an eviction on your rental record, it's very, very difficult to get another apartment. And it creates a situation where now you have to rent a room in a house, or you have to stay in like one of these like extended stay motels, and it ends up being a bad situation. Number 56, unexpected expenses such as car repairs or medical bills can trigger homelessness. Number 57, housing vouchers often have years-long waiting lists. And that's another problem too. Like, a waiting list for affordable housing shouldn't be years long. Again, we have so much money for all this other stuff, but we can't tackle this core issue that is affecting our society, and we see the problem, right? I mean, you go outside to your local big city, right? You'll see homeless people. It's a real issue. Number 58, many vouchers go unused due to lack of landlords who accept them. Number 59, building affordable housing often faces local zoning resistance. Number 60, single adults without children receive the least housing assistance. Number 61, most homeless people are not addicts. Number 62, most homeless people are not mentally ill. And I'm glad they're addressing these things, because people think, oh, if you're homeless, oh, you probably have some mental illness, or you're on some sort of drug or something like that. That's just not the case, right? Number 63, many homeless individuals have jobs. Number 64, homelessness is not always visible. Couch surfing counts as homelessness as well. Number 65, panhandling does not accurately represent homelessness. Number 66, not all homeless individuals want to remain homeless. Number 67, homelessness is usually temporary, not permanent. Number 68, homeless individuals want stability but lack resources. Number 69, many homeless people have strong work histories. So I mean, these are people that have had stable employment in the past, and they've just fallen on hard times. Number 70, homelessness is not caused by laziness. Number 71, teen homelessness often results from family conflict. Number 72, LGBTQ youth represent a disproportionate share of homeless teens. Number 73, school instability leads to academic decline. I don't think I can. Okay, I'll have to skip that one. Number 75, youth homelessness increases risk of exploitation. Number 76, many homeless youth hide their status from schools. Number 77, teen shelters often have age limits that leaves gaps in services. Number 78, a large share of homeless youth run away from unsafe homes. So that's another thing. A lot of households that have a lot of just chaos and dysfunction, that'll cause a teenager that's trying to escape that to run away and end up homeless as a result of that, unfortunately. that's a big thing too, like someone with a criminal record. Sorry, my phone ran out of space, but yeah, you know, if you have like a felony on your record, it's extremely difficult to, be able to qualify for most apartment complexes. And so many times, people with criminal records and stuff, they end up becoming homeless, or they end up living out of an extended stay, like motel or something like that, or like renting a room or something like that. Number 83, reentry programs reduce homelessness after incarceration. And I think that's a good thing because, someone who's homeless, they're more likely to end up committing a crime and reoffending and end up back in jail or prison, without housing. So it's good that the reentry programs do exist. Number 84, many cities have laws against public camping. Number 85, encampment sweeps often destroy personal belongings. Number 86, jails sometimes used as a de facto shelter in winter. And I've heard of people who have been homeless who say they'd rather be in jail versus being homeless because at least they'll have like a place to sleep and, food to eat too. Because in jail you get food. And that's a very sad situation. Number 87, homeless people are more likely to be crime victims than perpetrators. Number 88, police interactions are a major source of stress for the homeless, especially situations where the police will go and basically kind of like shoo them away. Because I've heard of many situations where if people in a certain area don't want homeless people there, they'll just call the police and the police will basically kind of make them go away. But, that doesn't really solve the issue, the underlying issue. Number 89, policy shifts towards housing first. Housing first shows strong results, and that's a good thing. Number 90, criminalizing homelessness does not reduce it. It's definitely true. All these politicians and government officials that want to sit there and try to basically criminalize homelessness, that doesn't solve the issue at all. What solves the issue is, helping the homeless and actually giving them, resources to help them, better their situation. Number 91, affordable housing construction reduces homelessness. It definitely does. Number 92, housing first reduces public spending long term. Number 93, supportive housing pairs housing with mental health services. Number 94, rent control can reduce displacement. Number 95, eviction prevention programs reduce homelessness dramatically. Because a big source of homelessness is eviction, unfortunately. So, it's good that these programs exist. I know that's going to be controversial to say, but, I'm saying it. I think it's good that these programs exist to help people that are in, vulnerable situations like this. Number 96, job training improves long-term stability. Number 97, access to healthcare prevents downward spirals. Number 98, cash assistance help people stay housed. Number 99, better foster care transition programs reduce youth homelessness. Number 100, public awareness helps reduce stigma and encourages political action. So, that was 100 facts about homelessness. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned a thing or two. And yeah, said in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna try to upload on this channel more because I know there's many people that like my whisper videos as well. So please stay tuned.